students, welcome to our YouTube channel. In electricity, we have two important laws. One is the Ohm's law, other is the Joule's law of heating. Firstly, we will discuss about Ohm's law. What is meant by Ohm's law? Here we have the circuit for Ohm's law. You can observe here we have a battery. I told already, battery means this is a combination of cells in series. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cells are there in a battery, and the positive terminal of the battery is connected to the resistance. We are considering a conductor here. Every conductor has its own resistance. That's why we are writing in the form of resistance. This is a representation of the resistance. And now we are connecting the ammeter, a plug key with it, and voltmeter also. While connecting the ammeter and voltmeter, we have to take care. Ammeter is always connected series with the circuit. Voltmeter is always connected parallel with the circuit. Means if you are connecting voltmeter here and ammeter here, why we are not connecting voltmeter here means voltmeter is having the high resistance. If we are connecting voltmeter here, it won't allow electricity to pass through it. This is the resistance R. And now ammeter is having the less resistance. That's why it can easily allow the electric current to pass through it. That's why we are connecting ammeter in the series, voltmeter in the parallel. They can ask this type of questions also. Why in a circuit you are connecting ammeter in series, and why you are connecting the voltmeter parallel with the circuit? There is a reason. Voltmeter is having the high resistance and ammeter is having the less resistance. What is meant by ammeter and what is meant by voltmeter? Ammeter is an instrument which is used to measure the electric current. Voltmeter is an instrument which is used to measure the potential difference. In ammeter, we have different types: milliammeter, microammeter. Milliammeter to measure small amount of current. The current, if still it is too small, we can use the microammeter. Milliammeter means 10 to the power of minus 3 ampere. It is in the order of 10 to the power of minus 3 millimeans. Micro means it is in the order of 10 to the power of minus 6 ampere. This is the order. This type of ammeters also we can use. It depends on the circuit, how much electric current is flowing through the circuit. And now we can observe for Ohm's law here, we are considering only one cell now. Means the first one, let us consider this one as V1. Only one cell we are considering. The current, as we discussed earlier, always the current flows from positive terminal to negative terminal. Here you can observe the current is flowing from positive terminal. This arrow mark is showing that the current is flowing from positive terminal to the resistor. Means what we are considering the material, either it may be bulb or a wire, whatever it may be, the resistor, and through the voltmeter as well as ammeter, and again it is passing through the wire and to the negative terminal. While connecting the ammeter and voltmeter, we have to take care the positive terminal of the voltmeter is towards the positive terminal of the battery. Even for ammeter also, the positive terminal of the ammeter is towards the positive terminal of the battery, and the negative terminal of the voltmeter and the ammeter are towards the negative terminal of the battery. You have to take care here. If you are connecting reverse here, they won't work. The circuit may damage. You have to take care the positive terminal towards the positive terminal of the battery, the negative terminals towards the negative terminals of the battery, voltmeter with the parallel and ammeter with the series. Now we are considering only one cell and having the potential difference 2 volt. For example, V1 is equals to 2 volt. Okay, here the potential difference is 2 volt, and we are measuring electric current here in the ammeter. We know why we are using ammeter. Ammeter is an instrument which measures the electric current. Here we are measuring the electric current. Electric current is, for example, you may get 0.2 ampere. When you are using only one cell, the voltmeter is showing the potential difference reading, that is 2 volt, and the ammeter is showing the electric current reading, that is 0.2 ampere. Okay, and the second reading will take, for the second reading, let us consider the two cells, the combination of two cells as a battery. Here, if one cell is 2 volt, means let us consider the second one is also 2 volt. 2 plus 2, totally we have 4 volt as a potential difference. For 4 volt, the electric current you are measuring in the ammeter, it is showing that 0.4 ampere. And again, we are considering one more cell here as a combination in the battery, that is V3. That V3 is also 2 volt. Totally we have here 6 volt. For 6 volt potential difference, you are observing the 6 volt in the potential voltmeter as a potential difference, and ammeter reading we are writing now, that is 0.6 ampere. And again, we have only one cell here in the battery, we are considering that one also, and here the V4 is also 2 volt, and the total potential difference here it is 8 volt. For 8 volt potential difference, you are observing the ammeter reading here, and you are getting 0.8 ampere. Now we will stop this one here. Let us move to the statement of the Ohm's law. What is the statement of Ohm's law? The Ohm's law states that the potential difference across the ends of the conductor is directly proportional to electric current at constant temperature, or you can say at constant physical conditions. The potential difference across the ends of the conductor, I mentioned already. If you are writing or saying only potential difference, it is wrong. Potential difference across the ends of the conductor is directly proportional to electric current at constant temperature or at constant physical conditions. Okay, means what is meant by directly proportional? Directly proportional means if you are increasing the one factor which is in LHS, the other factor which is in RHS also increases. In the same way, if you are increasing the LHS, even the RHS also will increase. That is the directly proportional. You can observe here. Firstly, we have 2 volt, and you are increasing the potential difference from 2 volt to 4 volt. You can observe here the electric current also increased from 0.2 ampere to 0.4 ampere. Electric current is increasing. Why electric current is increasing? Because the potential difference is increasing. That's why the electric current is increasing here. That's what we have in the statement of Ohm's law. The potential difference across the ends of the conductor is directly proportional to electric current. Here we have to remove this proportional sign. How to remove that proportional sign? By writing an equal with a constant. Here V you can write as it is in the LHS, and you are removing this proportional sign by writing equal with the constant. That constant is R here and I as it is. See here, this equals and R is nothing but the proportional sign, and here you can write V is equals to IR. This is the final form of the Ohm's law. What is meant by R? Here R is called the resistance. You can make, here is the formula for R. R is equals to V by I, where R is constant. R is called the resistance. What is meant by resistance? The resistance is a property of the material to oppose the flow of electric current. If you are considering a wire having the length 1 meter or 2 meter, whatever it may be, it is having its own resistance. Means it is not allowing all the current to pass through it. It is opposing some amount of electric current there. That is called the resistance. Here we have the resistance, and it is constant. It is constant means if you are increasing the current in the wire, the resistance of that wire won't change. That's why we did this activity here. We'll discuss that one here. For R, formula is, for resistance the formula is V by I. Here we have R. I'll write R is equals to V by I. And what is V and what is I? We know that V is a potential difference, I is the electric current. That one we have here. We'll substitute here and we'll see what values we'll get here. Okay, for the first one, R is equals to V by I. V is 2 volt divided by 0.2 ampere. after cancelling each other, before cancelling, you can easily make the denominator is in the form of decimal. Okay, you can convert that one into fraction by multiplying 10 to both numerator and denominator. 10 divided by 10, and you get 2 tens are 20, divided by 0.2 into 10 is 2. Now 2 ones are 2, tens are, and finally you are getting 10. Okay, here for the second one also use the same formula, potential difference in the numerator, electric current in the denominator. 4 divided by 0.4. If you are solving this one, here also you will get 10. And here for the third one also you are getting 6 in the numerator. Why? Means we have potential difference in the numerator and 0.6 in the denominator. Again you will get 10. And 8 in the numerator. In the same way, 0.8 in the denominator. Again you will get 10. Here you can observe we are writing only numbers here. Is there any unit for resistance, electrical resistance? Yes, we have. According to the scientists, the unit is ohm. How to represent ohm is like this. OHM, ohm. This is a representation of ohm. And here you can observe for the given material, whether it be, I told you, whether it may be a lamp or the wire, whatever it may be, for this the resistance is constant, it won't change. If you are increasing the potential difference, the electric current is increasing, but the resistance won't change, it became constant. This is the Ohm's law. You can observe if you are increasing the potential difference, even the electric current also increases, but finally we are getting the electrical resistance as constant. This is Ohm's law. We have one more law here, that is Joule's law of heating. Before discussing about Joule's law of heating, we discussed already heating effect of electric current. When the given material is having appreciable resistance, that material will convert the electrical energy into heat energy. That one we are considering heating effect of electric current, means Joule's law of heating. What is the statement of Joule's law of heating? To understand that one, let us consider a circuit here. We know many heating devices, an electric heater, electric oven, electric toaster. These are the heating devices. Here we are considering an electric heater and we are representing that one by R. I told you why we are writing R there. When the material is having appreciable resistance, then only it can convert electrical energy into heat energy. That's why I am representing that electric heater by R. An electric current I is flowing through that resistor, means that electric heater, that is considered as I, and let T be the time at which the electric current will flow through that electric heater. Now let us consider the statement of the Joule's law of heating. The Joule's law of heating states that the heat energy produced, here the heat energy is produced because of its high resistance, that heat energy is produced according to the Joule's law of heating. The heat energy produced in an electric heater is directly proportional to square of an electric current for the given resistance. And the second point is heat energy is directly proportional to resistance of the given material for the given current. And the third one, heat energy is directly proportional to time at which the electric current will pass through that electric heater. You can observe here, heat energy produced in an electric heater is directly proportional to electric current. Means what? If you are increasing the small amount of electric current in the electric heater, there is a chance of increasing much heat in that electric heater. That's why we have square here. And if you are increasing the resistance of that electric heater, we know that it will convert more electrical energy into heat energy. We know already RH is directly proportional to R, and H is directly proportional to T means if we are passing electric current over a long period of time through the electric heater, it will get heat up. This one generally we can feel. Every day if we are using electric heater or geyser means if we are switching on the electric geyser for 10 minutes or for 20 minutes, the water will get more heat. This one generally we can take. And here we are considering all these three factors which are in the RHS in one formula, that is H is directly proportional to I square RT. Now we have to state the actual statement of the Joule's law of heating. The heat energy produced is directly proportional to square of an electric current for the given resistance. The second point is the heat energy is directly proportional to the resistance of the material for the given current. And the third point is the heat energy produced is directly proportional to time at which the electric current will pass through that resistor. This is the Joule's law of heating. H is directly proportional to I square RT. I square means square of electric current, resistance and time. All are directly proportional. If you are increasing the current, the heat in that material will increase. If you are increasing the resistance, the heat in that material again it will increase. If we are increasing the time which the current is given to that, in that time also the heat will increase in that material. This is the Joule's law of heating.